Hello, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hello, hello. Huh? It's coming from the. Hello, hello. So it's the speakers are working. Speak. Are the speakers working? It doesn't seem like the speakers are working though. Hello. Does this need to be turned on to here?
No, no, I don't think so because when you were speaking on the mic, it was coming up here. I just want to see the output.
Yeah.
Where does it go?
Oh, yeah, maybe the master. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Yeah, see, it's catching it on that. Hello, hello, hello. I just need to increase the volume of that. And hello, hello. See, it's even coming here. Audio is coming here also. It's just that it's. I want to.
Let me connect on YouTube and see.
Yeah, but you want. We want it to also be heard in the hall, not just YouTube. Hello. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. No, these are off. 1 minute. 1 minute. These are off here. These are red here. That's why. Yeah. Hello. 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 See, it's coming here also. Hello. It's even there. You can see when I'm talking there, it's coming. Hello. So. Hello.
Volume is maximum,
Hello.
right? Hold on.
Yeah. Hello. See, it's coming here also. Hello. It's even there. You
Yeah,
can see. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you can see. The green light is coming. So. And it's even coming here. You can see it's all. Yeah. The output is coming. So I'm just trying to see. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you can see. The green light is coming. So. And it's even coming here. You can see it's all. The output is coming. So I'm just trying to see. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you can see. The green light is coming. So. And it's even coming here. You can see it's all. The output is coming. So I'm just trying to see. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. That's what you can see. The green light is coming. And it's even coming here. You can see it's all. The output is coming. So I'm just trying to see. Yeah, you can go in from there. Yeah. I'll just call you. Yeah, you can go in from there. Brahma, you see here, with these, I've kept all these on here. Okay, so unmuted everything here, and then I'm trying the purple mic here, and it's also showing here that it is green. But the speakers are not outputting. So what do we have? Why is this not coming on the speakers? I can see all the lights coming on when I'm talking. You can see the green lights. But the speakers are not outputting. So what do we have? Why is this not coming on the speakers? I can see all the right side mein, lights coming on when I'm talking. You can see the green lights. देखना हाँ देखना सब ऑन है मॉनिटर के राइट साइड में हाँ लाइट्स कमिंग ऑन व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग यू कैन सी द ग्रीन लाइट्स ये वाला ऑन होना इसका कुछ दिख रहा है क्या ऑन हेलो हेलो सब ऑन है हेलो 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 हाँ ओके ओके गॉट इट ऑन होना इसका कुछ दिख रहा है क्या ऑन हाँ हेलो 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 हाँ ओके ओके गॉट इट हाँ हेलो हेलो Hello? 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 Okay, okay, got it, got it. YouTube is on already. Hello? Hello? भेज दे. Brahma, मैं तेरे को भेजता हूँ अभी. I'll send it to you. I have it also. I'll send it to you on your Lasa account. WhatsApp में भेजूँ. ठीक है, okay. Any one of the mics we'll put it there. We'll put a mic stand for her. So depends on whether she's sitting or standing. They haven't told us that. Any one of the mics we'll put it there. We'll put a mic stand. Okay. Depends on whether she's sitting or standing. They haven't. ये पहले वापस रख दे. Then we'll test any of the mics, and then we can take one of the mics and put it on a stand there.
ठीक है.
This purple one keep there only. ये पहले वापस रख दे. Then we'll test any of the mics, and then we can take one of the mics and put it on a stand there. Why is there double sound?
इधर से भी आ रहा है ये. I think it's coming from the feedback here. That's why.
Let me send him the link. I used to take care of audio systems before I did anything now, so that's the reason I don't know about this. But it's been today. Most of it is working now, so you don't get anything. So, chalo, you want me to stand there?
Let's use which mic? I guess let's see which one to use.
We'll use this one. This one. All these type of mics are for the speakers. Just take it with this kind of mic. And here is the mic. I may need your help a little bit.
Hello. Perfect. Om Namah Shivaya. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, the volume is good. Hello. Perfect. Om Namah Shivaya. Hello. Yeah, the volume is. Hello. Perfect. Om Namah Shivaya. Hello. Hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello. Hello, hello. But you can hear it here too. Hello. No, that's why you should not hear it here. Hello, hello. But you can hear it here too. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. So what is that? No, no, but I'm just thinking, why is it happening? We had asked Sri Sai that question. Hello, hello.
how to build a very
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
विघ्न कोटि हर विमल गजानन
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 सकल विघ्न हर साई 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 गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
शुभ मंगलदायक विनायका
विघ्न कोटि हर विमल गजानन
विघ्न कोटि हर विमल गजानन
सकल विघ्न हर साई गजानन
सकल विघ्न हर साई गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
ईश्वरी नंदन पति गजानन
जय जय गणेश जय श्री गणेश
जय गणेश जय श्री गणेश
जय 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 जय गणेश जय श्री गणेश सुंदर सुंदर विनायका
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार। माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोधा वाली,
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोता वाली,
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली,
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली,
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोधा वाली,
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोता वाली,
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली।
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली।
प्रेम से बोलो
जय माता दी,
अरे सारे बोलो
जय माता दी,
सब मिल बोलो,
जय माता दी,
प्रेम से बोलो
जय माता दी,
सारे बोलो,
जय माता दी,
सब मिल बोलो।
जय माता दी।
माता रानी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी जय जयकार।
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 माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
ओ माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी तेरी जय जयकार।
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोधा वाली,
माँ शेरा वाली, माँ जोता वाली,
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली,
पहाड़ा वाली, माँ लाटा वाली।
प्रेम से बोलो
जय माता दी,
सारे बोलो
जय माता
अरे
दी,
सब मिल बोलो,
जय माता दी,
प्रेम से बोलो
जय माता दी,
सारे बोलो,
जय माता दी,
सब मिल बोलो,
जय माता
अरे
दी,
प्रेम से बोलो
जय माता दी,
सारे बोलो,
जय माता दी,
सब मिल बोलो।
जय माता दी।
माता रानी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी जय जयकार।
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 बोलो माता रानी जय जयकार, अम्बे रानी जय जयकार।
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 माता रानी तेरी जय जयकार,
अम्बे रानी जय
तेरी
जय जयकार।
नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर।
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 हर हर शंकर महादेव।
हर हर शंकर महादेवा।
हर 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 महादेव।
शिव 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 सदा शिवा
शिव 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 सदा शिवा
ओम शिव 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 सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा
नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर
हर हर शंकर महादेवा
हर हर शंकर महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
ओम हर 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 महादेवा
शिव 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 सदा शिवा
ओम शिव 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 सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा
हर 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 महादेवा
ओम हर 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 महादेवा
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 शिव 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 सदा शिवा
शिव 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 सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
महादेवा सदा शिवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा
सदा शिवा महादेवा नमः पार्वती पतये हर 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 शंकर महादेवा गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
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 माधव रामा जय जय केशव 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 रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
दुर्लभ रामा जय जय सुलभ 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 रामा
एक तू रामा जय जय अनेक तू 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 रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
माधव रामा जय जय केशव रामा
माधव रामा जय जय केशव रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
दुर्लभ रामा जय जय सुलभ रामा
सुलभ रामा जय जय सुलभ रामा
एक तू रामा जय जय अनेक तू 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 रामा
गोविंद रामा जय जय गोपाल रामा
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
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 हरि केशव हरि गोविंद 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 हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गिरिवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनवारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
आओ रे कान्हा रे रास रचाओ रे
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 आओ रे नाचो 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 रे रास रचाओ रे
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि केशव हरि गोविंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि केशव हरि गोविंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
वनमाली मुरलीधारी गोवर्धन गिरिवरधारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
नित नित कर माखन चोरी गोपी मनहारी
आओ रे कान्हा रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे कान्हा रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे कान्हा रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे
हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम
I am God, I am God, I am no different from God.
I am God, I am God, I am no different from God.
I am God, I am God, I am no different from God.
I am God, I am God, I am no different from God.
I am the one reality.
I am the infinite supreme, the one reality.
I am the infinite supreme, the one reality.
I am the infinite supreme, the one reality.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
Fear or grief can never touch me.
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 I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am God, I am God. I am no different from God.
I am God, I am God. I am no different from God.
I am the infinite supreme, the one reality.
I am the infinite supreme, the one reality.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Sachidananda Swarupa.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am love, I am truth, I am peace eternally.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
I am ever pure delight, I am always full and free.
Fear or grief can never touch me.
Fear or grief can never touch me.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am Om Tat Sado.
I am Om Tat Sato.
I am God, I am God. I am no different from God. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Namaste, everyone. It's my honor and my privilege, and it's a blessing. And I think it's Swami Vivekananda's blessing to have Sadhvi ji here. I want to give a very brief intro and get her started. She serves as the International Director of Paramath Niketan, and it's one of India's largest spiritual institutions. She's the Secretary General of the Global Interfaith WASH Alliance. She's the President of the Divine Shakti Foundation, where she leads major initiatives in sustainability, women's empowerment, and interfaith collaboration. She's the author of Hollywood to the Himalayas and Come Home to Yourself, and several other best-selling books. She shared the stage with leaders such as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and she's the recipient of President Biden's Lifetime Achievement Award for Service. All these are facts I can tell you, but I'm going to tell you something more. I shared a car journey with her last night, and I realized the way she does seva is very different. She's not just a spiritual leader or a motivational speaker, but she's someone who thinks through things. Yesterday, she shared with me that it's not the magnitude of the force that's important, but it's about finding that vulnerability point. It's like when we shatter a piece of glass, if you hit it with the greatest force in the middle, nothing will happen. But if you get it to the corner where it's the weakest point, then you can shatter the whole glass down. She spoke to me about little kids making a difference and how they were able to prevent cruelty towards dolphins. This didn't need a government, help from the government, just small little kids did. And that made me realize, I've always said, who am I? I'm nobody. I can do nothing. But yesterday, for the first time, I realized I can be a nobody, but still do things that matter to me by thinking through things. So even her organic food, one could easily assume that she eats organic to be healthy, but that's not the case. She eats organic to save Ganga. So there's so much about her that in that 1 hour, it inspired me. And I realized I can do something for everyone through every action. So if you want to know more about her, go to her website. But this is something I wanted to share. And we are extremely blessed to have this thinking person, spiritual person, evolved person amongst us. And I thank Swami Vivekananda for this gathering, for her to be here amongst us. So let's get this program started.
It's such a joy to be together. Such a blessing. Let us begin by just taking a few moments and just allow your eyes to close. And allow yourself to come into this present moment. Your body's here, but where is your mind? Where's your attention? Where's your focus? And just notice that chances are it's back at the house or in the office or in the home of a loved one, or maybe in a hospital room with a loved one who's suffering. But just notice that your mind typically is not right here. And so we very deliberately unhook, unattach our attention from all of the poles of the outer world, from all of that which is constantly changing, sights and sounds, smells, sensations. That's where our attention tends to go. So we close our eyes when we meditate. But we have to also very consciously unhook our awareness from all of that which is changing in the world around us. And then we unhook it from what in yoga philosophy we call chitta vritti, the fluctuations of the mind stuff, the waves of the mind. Just unhook your awareness from that constantly shifting, jumping, chitta vritti, monkey mind, and allow the awareness to drop very deeply inward. Drop into that place, that spacious, expansive, unchanging experience within. And allow that awareness, that attention, to anchor in your breath. Don't try to change the breath. We're not working with it. We're just using the breath as a tool to magnetize and pull in the attention. So just allow that awareness to merge into your breath, like the breath is a magnet, drawing the awareness closer and closer to it, pulling the awareness from all the places it's hooked in, and just drawing it into the breath. As the breath flows in and flows out. A constant flow of union and reunion between the inner and the outer. And as you exhale, on each out-breath, just allow yourself to let go. Let go of another game that your mind plays, another false identification, another story, narrative, drama. Just exhale and breathe them out. Give them back to the universe. It's all of that which is not self, not truth. These layers and layers of illusion and Maya that have accumulated onto us. As you exhale, just breathe them out. Feel them flowing back into the universe like The dirt on our bodies flows down the drain of our shower. In the same way, just on each exhalation, let it go. Another grudge, another unfulfilled desire, another attachment, expectation. Just one by one. Allow the breath to be like the waters of a shower that are just carrying all of the dirt, all of that which is not self off of us. But the breath is cleaning us from the inside, not the outside. And as you exhale, just let it go. And allow yourself, as you exhale and get freer and freer on each exhalation, notice that there's a moment at the end of the exhalation before you inhale again. Just a moment of spaciousness. A moment of pure, clear presence. A moment of touching. The drama-free beingness. And it comes right at the end of the exhalation before we inhale again. So as we exhale, we let go, we drop deeper and deeper. And then we pause before the inhalation for just a moment to notice that place of beingness. If the mind wanders, don't worry. Don't yell at it. Don't fight it. Don't tell a story about it. Just bring the awareness back to the breath. Back to this very moment, just gently and lovingly, consistently. Just bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. You can add a very gentle but very powerful, simple mantra here if you like. The mantra is so hum. It means I am that. I am inseparable from the Supreme Reality, inseparable from all that there is. I am that, the capital T that. And on the inhalations, as you breathe in, just allow yourself silently to chant to yourself. So. As the breath flows in, and as you exhale, as you let go and drop deeper and deeper into the core of your being, that spacious, infinite, unchanging, eternal presence that is you. On the out-breath, just allow yourself to chant silently to yourself. Hum. So on the inhalations, hum on the exhalations. As we drop deeper and deeper, freer and freer. Ever so gently, bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste. And as we bow our heads, we recite the very sacred prayer, mantra, of the blessing of remembrance. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. O divine presence, cosmic intelligence, supreme reality, O God, lead us from the darkness of ignorance, the darkness of falsehood, of unreality, in which we suffer and in which we bring suffering to others. That darkness of falsehood in which we identify only as this physical body that is born, that changes, that perishes. Lead us from that darkness of falsehood into the light of truth, in which we remember that we are that which is never born, never changes, never dies. Lead us from that darkness of suffering to the light of truth, in which the suffering dissipates and dissolves. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Slowly and gently rub the palms of your hands against each other. And press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. Slowly lower the hands and open the eyes. What a joy, what a blessing to be together today. As we sat for a few moments in the mandir at Purnima and Prem's house before coming, I was reminded of our beautiful theme for today, Gyaan that heals. Gyaan that heals. And it's so interesting because ultimately that's what it's meant to do. Gyaan was never meant to be just Gyaan for Gyaan's sake. There was never a teaching that was like, thou shalt accumulate knowledge just for the sake of accumulating knowledge. It was always, thou shalt be freed of the ignorance, of the falsehood, of the untruth, so that we can be free. Not just free on the highest spiritual level of moksha, but free of the everyday nonsense, because long before we get to moksha, we have to be able to deal with our in-laws, our neighbors, our colleagues, our employees, our employers. A lot of us are dreaming of moksha at the same time that we're, dreaming of ways to somehow figure out how to push away this neighbor, this colleague, this annoying person, that person. Well, freedom, that spiritual freedom, it's not after we die, it's not when we let go of our bodies, it's here. I'm coming to you from Rishikesh, from the banks of Mother Ganga, the bringer of liberation. And one of the core teachings that we remind everyone all the time is liberation is not about what happens after you die. A lot of people come to Ganga with the ashes of their loved ones to immerse them, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful. Our Shastras remind us that Ganga is the moksha dene wali, the giver of moksha. But there's no guarantees of what your loved ones are going to do after you die. We don't know. And of course, we have no control over it because we won't be here. So why wait? Why wait for a situation in which you're dependent upon someone else, carrying your ashes to Rishikesh and immersing them in Ganga? Why not? Right here, right now, being free. Because it's never our bodies that are the problem. Right? It's not, I would have moksha except I've got this elbow. Or I would be in moksha if it weren't for my knees or my ankles. Nobody's elbows or knees or ankles ever kept them from being free. It's our minds. Right? Our scriptures remind us, man eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. The mind is the key to the bondage or the freedom. Today, we're at a time in history where we are probably the most educated, the most informed. We have access to more information, more knowledge, even more wisdom than ever before. And we are more anxious, more disconnected, more medicated, more depressed, more lonely than ever before in history. So Gyaan was never meant to be just an accumulation of something. It was meant to be that changes us. But sadly, for a lot of us, it becomes just another collection. See, look at my antiques on the shelf and look at the number of mantras I can recite. I have a collection of this and I have a collection of that. Collection of antiques and collection of beautifully bound scriptures. Nothing wrong with either of them, it's wonderful. But the scriptures, the mantras, the teachings, the Gyaan were actually meant to percolate into us and change us. Otherwise, it stays just in our mind. And it's like that great story that I love of the students of the master who are studying Vedanta, they're studying the truth, and the master has taught them, Aham Brahm Asmi Tattvam Asi, thou art that, you are inseparable from the supreme reality. And one day some of the disciples are walking through the village, and suddenly everybody's yelling and screaming that a wild elephant is loose. And everybody's saying, get out of the way, get out of the way. And everybody's running out of the street. Elephant is running down the street. And one of the students is like, Everybody else is an illusion. I'm the only one who realizes I am Brahman, the elephant is Brahman. We are one, we are inseparable. There is nothing to fear. There's no self, there's no other. It's nothing but Brahman. It's all just illusion. Even his guru bhais are like, "Arey yard, come on. Get out of the way." And he says, nay, I am the one who's realized our guru's teachings. I am Brahman, the elephant is Brahman. And even the elephant guy, you know, the guy who takes care of Mahavat, I think they call it Mahavat, right? He's also yelling at the kid, get out of the way, get out of the way. Boys, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, it's all Brahman, everything else is illusion, baki sab maya. The elephant runs down the road, picks the kid up in his trunk, flings him a good 200 meters. He falls, breaks every bone in his body. Takes his guru bhais quite a while to even figure out, like, where did he land? Finally, they find him, they bring the guru to him. And not only is he in pain, but he's furious. He's furious. And the guru gets there and he says, this is all your fault. I was just doing what you taught. You gave us this piece of knowledge. Everything is Brahman. I believed you. Now look at me. Every bone in my body is broken. And the guru says, you only took the most outer, superficial level of that truth. You remembered you are Brahman and the elephant is Brahman. But what about all the villagers telling you get out of the way? What about all your guru bhais trying to grab you to get out of the way? What about the elephant guy telling you to get out of the way? Are they not Brahman? Only you and the elephant? Everybody else is junk? You are real, they are Maya? He says, you missed it. You missed it. So this is what happens with a lot of us. We get a piece of truth, but we don't allow it to percolate deeply within us. But the truth, that Gyaan, is actually meant to be for our lives. For me, I won't go into the full story because that would take us the whole time, and I actually want to go other places. But just for a moment of background, because for me, it was that Gyaan. And then, of course, the bhakti, and then, of course, the karma. But it began with that anubhav of Gyaan that changed everything. I landed up in India at 25 years old, 30 years ago, with a backpack, on what I thought was going to be a very short adventure trip in the middle of my PhD. I was not a spiritual seeker on any conscious level. I was an academic. I had graduated undergrad from Stanford. I was in the midst of doing a PhD in pediatric neuropsychology. And I even only agreed to go to India because I was a very strict vegetarian. I loved to travel. So traveling was always a yes. But I had never even thought about India. But I agreed to go because I was a very strict vegetarian, and I had seen throughout most of the world, it's still true today, but it was particularly a major problem 30, 35 years ago, trying to get pure vegetarian, and I was vegan, so trying to get pure vegan food in places where you don't speak the language. Because, you never know what the broth of your vegetable soup is made of, or what the base of a sauce is, or what they're even cooking rice or beans in rather than water. I mean, all kinds of... So I end up in India Rishikesh is the very first place we go. There was no internet at that time, but I had a very thick Lonely Planet guidebook. Open it up in Delhi and say Rishikesh. I didn't know Ganga was holy. I didn't know the Himalayas were holy. But I'm a nature person. And so river, mountains, trees, like that's always going to pull me. End up in Rishikesh, and I'm standing on the banks of Ganga. And I was gifted with this experience of being in the presence of the divine. And it began with a presence that was outside of me. It began as I looked at Mother Ganga and the presence of that divine. And then suddenly it didn't matter what I looked at. That same divine pervaded all, and whether it was a tree or a telephone pole or a marble step or a child or a family, didn't matter what it was. It was all divine, that same pervasive presence in all. And it knocked me to the ground in tears of coming home, tears of truth. And at some point, I turned that vision inward. And at 25 years old, I was very convinced about who I thought I was. Here's my story. Here's the agony of it. Here's the ecstasy of it. Here's the success. Here's the failure. Here's the strengths. Here's the weaknesses. Here's the blessings and privilege. Here's the suffering and challenges and trauma. But this is who I am. If you had said to me, who are you? I would have said, well, I'm 25, and I am a Stanford grad, and I'm getting a PhD, and these are my relationships, and this is what I do. And if I trusted you a little more, if we got a little closer, I would have said, and this is all the stuff I'm struggling with emotionally, and here's the struggles I've been through, and here's the questions I have. But that was my identity. And suddenly, in that moment on the banks of Ganga, I was given this anubhav, this experience of knowing that I was not separate from that pervasive presence of divinity. And suddenly I was no longer the body, the story, the history, the size, the shape, the color, the degree, the skills, the abilities, the weaknesses, the struggles. Suddenly there was no place that I was lacking, no place that I was not enough, because I was inseparable from this pervasive divinity. And even without having any kind of Gyaan in terms of a framework in which to understand it, I had never read the Bhagavad Gita. I probably had never even heard of it. I had never heard of anything in the Vedas, never heard the word Upanishads. I mean, I came from, a very typical, traditional, Western, non-spiritual, but beautiful in so many other amazing ways, family in Los Angeles. So I didn't have that Gyaan, but I was given the anubhav, the experience. And what it did was, it took me from what we talk about as aparavidya to paravidya, that knowledge about stuff. I knew a lot about things. Granted, not about spiritual things, but knew a lot about other things. A lot of book knowledge, a lot of academic knowledge, a lot of skills, a lot of abilities. I had a whole abundance of what we call aparavidya, that lower vidya. Not lower as in bad or wrong. It's good to know stuff. Helps us in our careers, helps us navigate our way through our existence on earth. But I was handed this Paravidya, that higher experiential knowledge. And that, when we talk about Gyaan that heals, it's experiential. It's not just academic. If it doesn't seep from the gray and white matter of our brain into our heartbeat, into our very felt sense experience of who we are and how we move through the world, then it's not going to heal us. Then we can recite all the mantras, we can give details of scriptures, but we're still going to be anxious and disconnected and unfulfilled. You know, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, particularly in the Christian tradition, there's a sense of a teaching around original sin. And a lot of the Christian tradition is based on the idea of us being born as sinners and needing to be saved, salvation, to be saved from our sinful nature. And in the Vedic tradition, we don't believe in original sin. We believe in original divinity. We believe that the core of who we are, the truth of who we are, is divine. But then we believe in original ignorance. Right? We come out of the womb, and pretty much just as the nurses are, slapping our bottoms and making sure that neurologically everything's okay and that we breathe on our own, it's like that slapping us awake somehow causes this veil of Maya to descend and kind of wrap us up as they coddle us in a blanket. Maya starts to come as well. And so we forget. But here's the thing about Gyaan, real Gyaan. It's never meant to be an overcoat. It's never meant to be that which gets dumped on top of all the layers of what you already have. In order to really have Gyaan, we have to let go of all of the rest. It's like in the Bhagavad Gita when Bhagawan Krishna says that like a fire burns up all of the fuel. You have a forest fire, there's no forest left. Where the fire has come through, the forest is gone. The forest was fuel. When a fire burns, the fuel disappears. It is literally consumed by the fire. And in the same way that happens, our karma, that from our past lives, that from earlier in this life, that is making up this individual journey, that is keeping us stuck in so many ways, it is consumed by, burned up by the fire of Gyaan. So it's not like, yeah, here's all of me and all of my ignorances, and but hey, I've got this overcoat of Gyaan on top of it. And that's what a lot of us do, is we actually wear an overcoat of Gyaan as just yet another false identity. Hey, I'm the smartest one in the room. Didn't you know that? I'm the one who can recite the most mantras. I'm the one who's read all the Upanishads. I'm the one who takes over for teaching if the teacher doesn't come. I'm the one. It's just another false identity. It's just another layer of ignorance. It's another drama, another story. On the one hand, we say, I'm the body, I'm the race, I'm the religion, I'm the history. On the other hand, we say, I'm the Gyani. They're just different stories, but they're both stories. The real Gyaan requires us to let go of every other thing that we think we know about ourselves. And for me, that was one of the most transformational aspects of what happened to me. It was not Gyaan on top of illusion and suffering. It was as the Gyaan came, it wiped away the illusion and suffering, because suddenly it couldn't coexist. And it's why we talk about Gyaan as a light. It's why in the mantra that I began with, we go from darkness to light. Because when light comes, there is no more darkness. I remember talking to my guru, Puja Swami Chidananda Saraswathi Ji Maharaj, at the very beginning, and I was talking to him about my struggles and the field of psychology and the processes that I was in. And he looked at me and he said, you know, you people in the West, you people, you people. He said, you people, you sit around in a dark room and you talk about what it feels like to be in the darkness, how dark it is, how long it's been dark, why it might be dark, what the molecules of darkness are made of. But you're still in the dark. You're just having a lot of conversations about the dark. And he said, here in India, we go like this on the wall looking for a light switch. Because the moment the light is on, it doesn't matter what it felt like to be in the dark. It doesn't matter how long it had been dark. It doesn't matter why it was dark, because now it's light. And that's what the Gyaan does. And that fire analogy is critical. You know, at Parmarth Niketan, every day we begin the day with a sacred yajna fire. And in our yajna fire, it's not just about samagri. Our rituals are not just ritual sake. It's not the ahuti, the offering, is that within us that is keeping us from living in light. It's all of the ignorance. It's all of the stories. It's all of the narratives. It's all of the angers and grudges and jealousies and competitions and unfulfilled expectations and etc. It's all the nonsense. And we offer it to the fire with the prayer that it may be consumed and burned up so that we may remember who we are. It's not about purify me. The purification of fire is not make us pure. We are pure. That's the original divinity. But it's purify my mind so that I can remember. Okay. So, the Gyaan that heals. As we move through our lives, there's 3-4 questions that plague most of us. And Gyaan is that heals all of them. The first, who am I? And I don't mean this in the beautiful Vedantic sense of we sit to meditate and we meditate on who am I. I mean that which wakes us up in the middle of the night in the dark and we go, oh my God, what am I doing here? What's it all about? Who am I? Am I fulfilling my purpose? Does it make sense? I'm talking about that deep inner struggle that every one of us at some point in our life, if we are present with life, is going to have. Who am I? What to do? How to do it? And why? Why do it? Why are we here? So Gyaan gives us all of that. And I want to let's quickly move through those as we look at how they heal us. and then we'll take questions. So who? The who, I think, is probably the most deepest cause of suffering. Because, of course, once we know who we are, we know what to do. When we don't know who we are, we suffer so deeply. And in these days with social media, it's so easy to believe that we are our curated identities. So we curate these identities, we post them. The identities get strengthened based on the comments, the likes, etc. But it's a curated identity. We're curating each post based on what's going to get the most likes, what's going to get the most comments. And so we suffer. I had somebody in satsang a couple of years ago, I'll never forget it, a young man. He came into satsang and he said, it's a Western guy. And he said, I have 2 million followers on TikTok. And he said, and my life feels aimless and useless. How can that be? Now, of course, to us from a spiritual perspective, it's like, well, those two things don't actually have anything in common. You may have as many followers as you have on TikTok and suffer from this, totally separate. But in the mindset that so many of us are in, especially the youth, those two things are connected. Like, I am my curated identity. But even the older ones of us, even those not stuck with social media, it's I am the mother or the father or the grandmother or the grandfather or the rich one or the smart one or the spiritual one or the best karma yogi, right? We all have that. I do more seva than anybody else. I'm the most humble. I'm the best karma yogi. So we have these identities. But our Gyaan teaches us, who are you? Aham brahmasmi tattvam asi. That core teaching that we remember. But I love actually Hanumanji's teaching on it. Because I feel like Hanumanji's teaching is such a beautiful bridge of the yes and. Yes, we are Brahman. Yes, that is our highest, deepest, truest reality. And here we are in these bodies. Here we are with these karmic incarnations. Here we are with Dharma. Here we are with individual karmic journeys, karmic packages, circumstances, situations. On the highest, deepest level, is it all Maya? Of course. And is it that which has been given to us by a perfect God? Yes. And therefore, to me, there is a perfection in the creation itself. And so what I love about Hanumanji's answer, when Bhagwan Ram asks him, who are you? He says, from the perspective of the body, Deya Buddhi Sai, from that intelligence of the body, Main aapka daas hoon. I am your servant. I am your devotee. I am the lover. You are the beloved. From the perspective of the jiv, the individual soul, Main aapka ansh hoon. I am a drop in the infinite ocean of divinity that you are. You are the ocean, I am a drop. Atma Buddhi Sai, from the deepest, highest perspective of soul, I am you. And I love that because it's yes and. Absolutely, highest, deepest level of soul, Atma Buddhi Sai, I am you. And here in my body, Main aapka daas hoon. I'm the bhakti yogi, the karma yogi, in loving service. Because as many of you may have noticed, it's a beautiful challenge to move through this world every minute, every moment, anchored in Aham Brahmasmi. It's a beautiful challenge. We forget. And that too is part of the package of our human existence. So when we sit for our meditation, in the morning, in the evening, as frequently as we can, we remember, oh yeah, so hum. But then as we move through the day, in those moments of forgetfulness, well, that's all right. Because those are the moments then, from the perspective of this individual, to be the servant, to be the lover of the beloved. So that's the who. And the what? What do we do then? Well, once we know who we are, what do? We do our dharma. Very simple. No complaints, no grumblings. Puja Swamiji always says, where there's grumbling, there's no God. Where there's God, there's no grumbling. Because then it's just jahi vidhi rakhe ram, tahi vidhi rahiye. Wherever you put me. Wherever you put me, that is your grace, your blessing. So we do our dharma. We be that instrument, that nimit, in the hands of the divine, however we're used. Whatever the dharma may be. But we stand up. There is nothing in our spirituality that says, don't act. In fact, Bhagawan Krishna is very clear, we can't not act. Even if I sit here and I sit on my hands and I close my eyes and I close my mouth and I put earplugs in my ears, well, I'm still acting. Because I'm supposed to be here giving a talk, and if I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing, well, that's also an action. It's an act of omission. If somebody falls down in front of you and you don't bend down to help them up, that is an action. We can't not act. If Arjun ran off the field into the mountains and sat in a cave, that was an action, not just the running into a cave, but the abdication of his duty. That is an action. So we have to act. But we act in dharma. We act as an instrument in the divine. One of the things I've been sharing a lot with non-Indian audiences, particularly in this country over the last couple of years, as anxiety, anger, rage, outrage, division, fear is just growing and growing and growing and growing, is anger is wonderful as a catalyst. You see what's happening to our indigenous, the land of our indigenous sisters and brothers in the Amazon being cut down to graze cattle that are going to become hamburgers. It should make us angry. We see our immigrant sisters and brothers pulled out of their homes, separated from their children and families. It should make us angry. Watching the environment be destroyed across the world, watching wars, watching hunger, watching exploitation. Of course it should make us angry. But we don't want to act in anger. The anger wakes us up. The anger allows us to realize something is awry. Like Duryodhana's actions catalyzed the war. But the 700 verses of the Bhagavad Gita were not meant to make Arjuna act out of anger. It was meant to make Arjuna act out of love. Love for Dharma. Love for his divine charioteer. Love for truth. So the anger is a catalyst that wakes us up from our distracted slumber, from our numbness, from our devices that we're just stuck with. But then we allow our spiritual practice to be that helps us transmute the anger into love, into dharma, into truth. And that takes us into how. So how do we act? Well, again, Bhagavan Krishna gave us what to me is the simplest mantra, sutra for the how and the what of our life. Mamnu smard yudhyacha. Remember me and fight the war. So simple. Remember me, fight the war. It means remember God, because when we forget God, well, then it's all about us. I'm the one who does everything. Why don't other people hold up their end of the bargain? I'm the one who does all the dishes. I'm the one who works for the whole team. I'm the one. All about us, all on our shoulders. Then we get very give and take, 50-50. Right? I did it last night. It's your turn. You got to hold up your end of the bargain. Then we're keeping score. Mamnu smard. Remember me means remember the divine. It's all God's Leela. We're playing a role in this scene, this act of God's Leela. So we remember the divine. But Mamnu smard also means remember you, because we are not separate from God, remember? So remember God means remember you. You're not just the doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, the banker, the mother, the father, the teacher, the student, the husband, the wife. It's not who you are. Tattvamasi. So remember me means remember you also. The action is happening through you, but you are not the doer. Remember you. Action is happening. But we are that which is unchanging, right? Mrityorma amritam gamaya. It doesn't mean, oh God, make my body not degenerate according to the laws of science that you have put in place. It doesn't mean, oh Yamraj, make me the exception to your rule. It doesn't mean, mummify me so that you can bring me back once the technology gets good enough. It means make me remember who I am. Not that which is born and changes and dies, not the doer. I am that. Japale se amardhe. We are immortal. It's not about becoming immortal. It's about re-remembering who we are. So mamnu smard, remember me? The capital M means also you, remember you. Yudhyacha, fight the war. Not just sit here in remembrance. I have this to remember. And then I rise. And we fight our wars, whatever they may be. Do our duties, do our dharma, whatever it is, as that instrument. But it's not, oh, I'm the spiritual person, I'm just going to sit here and meditate because, hey, the world is all Maya. This is what Arjuna said in the beginning. Forget it. Let them keep the land. Forget it. Not worth it. I'll just go meditate. Krishna says, God's telling him, no. This is your dharma. You're going to stand right here. This is your path to liberation. I mean, imagine. The divine is telling him, no cave for you. No renunciation for you. It is not a renunciation of the action itself. It's a renunciation of the story you tell yourself about the action and about the actor. Stop telling the story, but don't stop acting. So mamnu smard yudhyacha, and surrender. Whatever you do, yat karoshi yat dashnasi, yajjahoshi dadasiyat, yat tapasyasi konteya, tat kurushwaha madarpanam. Just surrender all of it. Everything you do, surrender it to me. This is your path. Don't not act. Just surrender the actions. And then lastly, why? Well, because that's what we're here for. That's the whole point. It's why we've taken this birth. We are here for exactly that purpose. To have the anubhav, not just the knowledge, but the anubhav. To actually have a metaphoric dupki in the Gyaan Ganga. It's not just we stand there and we're like, oh, that's Ganga. No, dupki lagana. You got to get wet. It doesn't do you any good to just point to the water. You got to get wet. To actually have the bath in the Gyaan Ganga. In the way where not just the outer body, because that dries very quickly, but the bath in which the inner aspect of us gets wet in a way that never dries. That's what we're here for. So when we take all of this beautiful wisdom and we bring it in, it heals us, and then we become the instruments of healing in the world. So I have absolutely no sense of time and no idea what time it is. What time is it? 12:15. Fantastic. I'm sorry? Perfect. So we've got beautiful time for any questions that anyone may have. And as I always say, a question that, on the phone? Oh, you have a written question. Fantastic, of course. And as I always say, there's no such thing as a wrong question or silly question. If it's that which is standing between you and freedom or you and truth, it's exactly the right question. Yes?
Thank you so much, Sadhvi. We had requested people to send us a few questions ahead of time.
Okay, sure, great.
So that's what I have here.
Wonderful.
So the way we will do this is, because some of you took the trouble to send me questions, I believe they should get
Absolutely.
the first dibs. So there are just a handful, and then we'll open it up for the general audience. Suggestion is, perhaps Lakshmi, you could get a mic to that side for the ladies' side, and what I would request you to do is when you have a question, please come up here and, ask Sadhvi whatever question that's on your mind. But let me kick off the proceedings here. There are actually, there are two themes here,
Sure.
Sadhvi. One is the path of knowledge, Gyaan, is considered as the ultimate path, but bhakti and karma, devotion and action are also important. How do we know at what point should we focus on Gyaan?
Great question. Bhakti, Gyaan, and karma are not separate. They're different pathways in. We live on the banks of Ganga. You want moksha? Get in the river. But it doesn't matter how you get in. You can get in down the beautiful marble steps at Parmarth Nikathan. We have a chain you can even hold on to. Can go upriver. There's a sandy beach at Ramjula. You can walk in off the sandy beach. Youngsters sometimes like to jump off the rocks at Lakshmanjula. No problem. Ganga doesn't care. No extra points for getting in one ghat or another ghat. The point is get in. Gyaan, bhakti, karma, they're pathways into the ultimate river of divine connection. And here's an easy way to think about it. Let's say you go in with Gyaan, for example. So you meet someone. Blind date, right? In India, we have a tradition of arranged marriages. So it begins by you bring these two unknown people together. They sit over maybe a cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, maybe a meal, asking questions. What are your dreams? What are your fears? What are your priorities? And as they come to know more and more about each other, love blossoms. Begins with knowledge. It's not the, I saw you from across a crowded room and our eyes met and, fell in love before I knew your name. It's not that. They've been brought together to get to know each other. But as they get to know each other, slowly, and even back in the old days, when they never saw each other before, coming from the West, this was really a very remarkable thing. And I used to ask lots of people, I was like, really, you never met before you got married? My God, and how did you manage? But the story was always the same. Slowly, love blossomed. You begin by getting to know each other. The more you get to know each other, the more you love. It doesn't mean that you love every habit. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that annoy you. It doesn't mean that if you had a magic wand, you wouldn't wave it and, make him put his socks away or make her be like that. But it means as you get to know each other on the deepest level, love for the deepest essence blossoms. And it grows. And as the love grows, the karma comes automatically. A loved one is sick in bed. You bring them food, you bring them tea. It's not seva. It's just what you do because your loved one needs it. So that's when we go in through Gyaan. But you could go in through bhakti. I saw you from across a crowded room. Our eyes met. Fell in love. Kuch kuch hone laga. Right? That also happens. But then, now that connection is there, that bhakti is there, now I want to stay awake all night long and know everything about you. Now I want to know your dreams, your fears, your this, your that. Because we had that heart to heart from across the crowded room, the soul to soul. But now I want to know everything there is to know about you. So then the Gyaan, the yearning for Gyaan blossoms. And then, of course, karma flows. So they're actually intersecting pathways. In the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most beautiful things is when Bhagwan Krishna is talking about each of the paths, he speaks about each one like that path is absolutely the best path. And the teaching that we all should go home with is, it doesn't matter how you get in. Get in. Because once you're in, if your Gyaan is real, bhakti and karma will follow automatically. If your Gyaan is not giving birth to love and service, it's book knowledge. It's academics. It's not wisdom. If it's real, it's going to automatically, the more you know about God, it's just, your heart is going to melt. I remember when I read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, which was one of the very, very first books that I was given. And it was extraordinary because I'd be reading and reading, and then I would open my eyes. And I was sitting meditating, and the book was next to me. And I had no conscious recollection of stopping reading, putting the book down, closing my eyes, starting to meditate. But the transmission that came through the wisdom was so much that it just cracked my heart open, and there was nothing to do but sit and meditate and have tears of love stream down my eyes. So if the wisdom is real, it's going to give you the others. And similarly, if our bhakti is real, I mean, Gyaan and Vairagya are quite literally the sons of bhakti. Literally. So from real devotion comes real wisdom. And the real Vairagya. That is not a pushing away of the world, but an automatic letting go of that which is not truth in favor of that which is. And karma just is the most automatic, natural outcome of all of it, in the same way that, if my arm itches, I'm going to scratch it. If my stomach is empty and rumbling, I'm going to feed it. Because it's me, itself. And as our Gyaan and Bhakti blossom, we truly realize there is no other. It is all self. It is the divine in the form of that being, that tree, that river. And so we serve God in all of those forms.
Thank you. We have a couple of questions on the problem of evil.
The problem of evil.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is evil? Why does it manifest as war and depravity in a world supposedly created by a merciful, omnipotent God? If our karmas are responsible, then do we have the free will to change them at will?
Great. So, remember that we believe at the core in original divinity, and then pretty much almost original ignorance. When that ignorance is not checked by wisdom, it can grow into evil. There is no one who at their core isn't divine. But the evil arises when we allow the veil of Maya to so completely cover the truth of who we are. And we do not have a process, a person, an experience that pulls open the curtains. And so we move forward in that ignorance, and particularly if we have experienced trauma in our lives, so if there's a sense in our life of being separate from, of internal trauma, internal anger, we bring harm to the world. That's all evil is it's unchecked ignorance. Free will, I think about this a lot. I wonder a lot of times whether God is not really regretting giving us free will. If I were God, I would regret giving us free will. And yet, I think it was kind of part of the package deal of creation. That when the creation was created, free will was an intrinsic part of that. But again, I do wonder whether God is not having second thoughts over that particular aspect of creation, because we're not making very good use of it. And so the harm that is happening in the world is happening because of ignorance that becomes evil. And when we have the opportunity, the impact, the influence to actually create real harm, we use our free will to do so. So it's not that God isn't omnipotent. It's that as part of the package deal of creation, the rules of the game, remember this is a Leela, it's a drama. And in this Leela, part of the package is free will. It's also, by the way, required for us to have moksha. That liberation requires us to utilize our free will to obtain Gyaan, to have Anubhav, to allow Bhakti to blossom, to allow ourselves to engage in right action. If we didn't have free will, we would also never have moksha. Because then we never would have been able to put our attention, our awareness on the truth of consciousness, understand who we are, and then understand what to do. So it goes both ways. But it is absolutely just an intrinsic part of creation, and I pray that those of us who are using it for good significantly outnumber and outpower those of us who are using it for bad, so that everyone has a continued opportunity on this planet to evolve and discover themselves. But it's not that God isn't omnipotent, it's just that God is not willing to change the rules of the game along the way, not willing to rescind the gift of free will. Yet.
Okay, I think one final pre-prepared question, and then I hope you all have some questions and you can come and ask. So this one's how to distinguish pain from suffering and their relative healing methodologies.
Great. And you know, I actually, in this case, I love a very, very simple Buddhist teaching around it. In Buddhism, they talk about the two arrows. The first arrow is pain. It's the earthquake, the awful situation, the circumstance, getting fired from your job, being left by your partner, having a horrible thing happen. It's pain. You fall down, you hurt yourself, it's pain. But the second arrow is suffering. And the second arrow is the one that we fire at ourselves. The first arrow is that which comes, you could say, from our destiny, from our past karma. It is that which is inevitable. It has happened. The rain on our birthday picnic. We don't have a magic wand to say, hey, Indra, Dave, please, stop. It's raining. But the second arrow is the one we fire. The second arrow is the story we tell ourselves about the pain. I tripped and fell. It hurt. First arrow. Story I tell myself. It's not fair. I was getting on a plane to go to India. Now I can't go because I have to go get get a plaster put on my leg. I will never get enlightened. I was going to go to India to get enlightened. I was going to go to India to study with the gurus. The universe is against me. Nothing good ever happens to me. That's the suffering. I get fired from my job. Pain, because pain isn't only physical. Pain, I get fired. Okay. Suffering says, nobody ever appreciates me. I will never be recognized for who I am, what I can do. I'll never get ahead. The universe is against me. You see how it always comes back to that? Suffering is pervasive. Pain is an intersection of time and space. This happened. Suffering is pervasive. I am useless. I am worthless. It will never be better. It will always be like this. Nothing good ever happens. Can't trust anyone. Woe is me. Don't fire the second arrow. First arrow, inevitable, part of our karmic package. Second arrow, totally in our hands.
Okay, we have been told that we have time for one question from the audience. So who's the lucky person here? Sadhvi ji, maybe I should ask you to pick.
Okay, yeah, in the back. Yes. I see two hands, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually let you both ask your question and see whether there's a way to weave the answer together.
Come on over to where the microphone is.
How are we? Good.
Hello, Sadhvi ji. Thank you so much for the talk and the question and answers, the answers you provided for those questions. It's truly Gyaan for me today. One question I have, actually two parts for the same question. Do you still feel that experience that you felt at the River Ganga? Do you feel it all the time? And the second part of the same question is, how do we experience that as well?
Beautiful, beautiful. And what is your question?
I wanted to ask, what wisdom would you offer to someone whose journey has been shaped by loss and who's learning to feel at home within their bodies and trying to heal that kind of inner orphanhood through spiritual practice?
Great. So I still feel that experience, absolutely, but it is less different than my way of understanding, and so it is less like a huge storm in my consciousness. It's less like this wave that comes over me. I am, at that time I was rendered pretty much nonverbal for many, many days. All I could say was just, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And I felt drugged almost by the intensity of the experience. Whereas now, because over these decades, through practices, I've developed an internal framework for it. It's less unsettling, it's less disruptive, but it's definitely still there. And of course, there are moments of forgetting. I absolutely have moments of forgetting and getting frustrated or getting attached or getting, annoyed or angry or sad or this or that. But as the years have gone by, it's much easier to come back sooner. I can come back faster. I notice more quickly that I have forgotten. So yes, the awareness is still there, and it is something to which I can keep bringing myself back into should there be moments of forgetfulness. And in terms of us all having an experience like that, it really is about being prepared to let go of that which is not that experience. I had taken a vow on the airplane to India that I was going to keep my heart open, because otherwise the trip made no sense. I didn't know the words Sankalp Shakti. I heard them much, much, much later, many, many years later. But in retrospect, I looked back and I was like, oh, look at that. Sankalp Shakti. I had taken a vow to keep my heart open. Grace is always there. But because of my concerted, deliberate commitment to be willing, to be sincere, to be open, a space was created in me, in my awareness, into which that experience could come. And I'm not cut from a different cloth. That experience is available to all of us. But I think what blocks most of us is such a very deep attachment to our sense of who we think we are, what we think we need. And a little bit of practice of Sankalp Shakti and a willingness and a sincerity to let go of the untruth, to let go of the darkness, and allow the presence of the truth of the light. Because it's not always easy. I mean, we've spent decades of our life building up our identities, building up our roles. It's hard to let go. A lot of us have the feeling, well, then who would I be? Like, Aham Brahmasmi is great, and this is my company, this is my business, and, we're going to squash the competition. And it's hard to let go. But we have to be prepared to. Not let go of business in general, but just let go of the way that we think about ourselves as the doers of what we do with the attachments. And so just really an opening. A sincere, willing opening to let go. And with regard to dealing with loss, I think the awareness that it's the package deal of our existence is really important, because a lot of us feel like somehow we should be able to get through life without losing. The only way to do that is to die early. If you die early, maybe you can get out without having lost anyone important to you. But if you're blessed with even a normal lifespan, let alone a long lifespan, you're going to lose. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose things. You're going to lose opportunities. And this is where the teaching that is so critical around equanimity is so important. And this is where in the Bhagavad Gita, right, Bhagavan Krishna talks about the wise one is the one who is balanced in pain and pleasure, in loss and gain, because they're the nature of nature. He's not saying don't notice the difference. But if we're not able to be balanced in the inevitable nature of life, well, then we are a victim of it. Then we are just going up and down with the waves of life. Happy when they go up, miserable when they go down. And so the teaching is really clear. The nature of nature is to go up and down. There will be gain, there will be loss. There will be pleasure, there will be pain, there will be success, there will be failure. Like there's night and day, and there's winter and summer, and dry seasons and rainy seasons. It's the nature of nature. And I think when we experience loss, so many of us feel like we should get through it, move beyond it. Like, no, be with it. Okay. Here we are in a season of loss. And to just allow yourself to be present with it. The season will shift, but it'll shift naturally, not by us pushing it away, not by us making ourselves feel badly that we're not over it yet. Spirituality is about being present with what is, not by trying to change it, and just being aware, grief. Okay? It's like, it's raining today. Okay? Here we are. Rain. Grief. But what you'll notice if you are really present is it shifts a lot. It's constantly changing. There's grief, then there's joy, then there's anger, then there's fear, then there's grief again, then there's laughter. But our responsibility is just to be present. And to be present with the gain amidst the loss. So yeah, there's a loss over here. And look, a flower bud is opening its petals. Look at that. And there's loss. And a new baby has been born. Because just like we don't want to shut ourselves off from the grief, we also don't want to shut ourselves off from the joy. Because either of them is just a narrow piece of creation. And we are called to just be present with it. And as you're present with it, the experience of it automatically in its right time will shift. You know, today quantum mechanics is telling us exactly what our rishis and sages told us thousands of years ago. The watcher and the way of watching determines that which is. You know, Newtonian physics says we have waves, we have particles, we have energy, we have matter. Quantum mechanics says, well, actually, it depends who's looking. Observer effect. Exactly what the rishis and sages said. Jase drishti, vase shrishti. As we are looking, so is the creation. So yes, grief is there, and we don't want to have grief-covered glasses any more than you want to put rose-colored glasses on top of grief. We want no glasses. We want clear vision and the ability to just be present with what is. And as we're present, the nature of nature keeps changing. Is it a particle? Is it a wave? Is it grief? Is it joy? But our role is just to be aware, without judging, without trying to change it. But knowing that we are the presence, the consciousness, the awareness of it all. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, so wonderful to be together, and I look so forward to being back hopefully soon. And until then, a very heartfelt invitation to all of you to come home to Parmarth Niketan, home to Rishikesh, home to the banks of Ganga, whenever you come to India. We now have non-stop flights from so many cities all over the country. It's beautiful. So just get on a plane, come home to Rishikesh, come and stay. And so much love to you all.
Thank you so much, Sadhvi ji. So here we are. All good things come to an end, except this time we get to take her teachings back with us to our homes, and hopefully some of it will stick with us and we'll learn from it. Thank you so much. And please do visit with us the next time you are in the US, in Boston. Our facilities are always open, and people are always blessed. So I have a couple of announcements. Sadhvi ji has a pressing commitment directly after this, so she does not have a lot of time, But if someone wants to come and seek her blessings, perhaps you may want to form a line here, but be very quick. We'll guide you there, and we're strictly going to enforce the Tirupati rule, Jaragandi here, right? So we're going to push you out of the way very quickly. So please come here, take a picture. And also, we have food packaged and kept. Do us a favor, please. We have an event directly after this. So if you could please take the food with you, because our cleaning crew is only going to show up after the next event. So, we want to keep the place clean for the next event.